Hello, this is Tom from the Delicious Legacy podcast. Today I want to talk to you about some of the favorite spices from antiquity, what the ancient Greek and Romans loved. And they did love the spiced food, as we do today, so they ate a lot of different peppercorns and other kinds of spices. So let's have a look. So here we have the black peppercorns, the normal ones that we know and love today as well. And this one comes from the Sanskrit word, pipali. So the word peperi has Indian origin. Obviously, black pepper was important to ancient Mediterranean from India, where it originates, and hence its name. And so, from ancient times, we had the import of large quantities of black peppercorns in the Mediterranean region, ancient Egypt and Greece and Rome, of course, later on. And although black pepper was important and known in the ancient world, it wasn't the most popular of the peppers. Now, this one, long pepper, Piperum longum, it's a very interesting one. It's rather unfamiliar to us now, but this one was important to the classical Mediterranean, and the price of this long pepper was double the price of black pepper. And it has a very nice spicy flavor. It's much hotter than black pepper, and also has a fruity aftertaste. And Theophrastus, the ancient Greek naturalist philosopher, successor of the philosophic school from Aristotle, he describes it thus: pepper is a fruit and is of two kinds, one round like bitter vetch and with a shell and flesh like bayberries, reddish. The long kind with poppy-like seeds, and this is much stronger than the other. Both are hitting. And at some point later on it fell out of fashion from the tables of the Mediterranean people. Now we have another very interesting one called piper cubeba or cube pepper, and it's cultivated for its fruit in Java in Sumatra, right from that far away from Indonesia. Let's have a closer look at it. The fruits are gathered before they're ripe and they're carefully dried. And it looks in appearance like black pepper, really, but it has attached the tails, so hence another name is called tailed pepper. In the 4th century BCE, Theophrastus again mentions it as komacon, and including it with cinnamon and cassia as an ingredient for aromatic confections. So the Javanese name for the cubeb is kumukus. This is seen as evidence of Greek trade with Java in time earlier from Theophrastus, hence Theophrastus calling it komacon. And obviously we think that it's unlikely that the Greeks took it from somewhere else because it's only cultivated there. And the Javanese traders, they had a monopoly, and they carefully guarded their monopoly by sterilizing the berries by scalding, so ensuring that the vines were unable to be cultivated elsewhere. So my guess is that it was imported to Mediterranean via India, so there was the Indian traders that were sending it to Mediterranean. Cube pepper, despite its name, it's not spicy at all. It's very aromatic though, and the initial bite is a bit bitter. But at the same time, there are so many different aromatic compounds. The flavor and the taste of it reminds me a little bit of going to an old Greek Orthodox church or something. It has that kind of rich, deep flavor. And now that's another interesting one, grains of paradise or Mellighetta pepper. Look at these tiny beautiful grains. This is a species of the ginger family, and it's closely related to cardamom as well. It has a pungent black pepper-like flavor with a hint of citrus. And obviously, like ginger, it has that heat, and ginger was also used in ancient Greece, imported by the East again from East Africa and from further along. But this grains of paradise is from the West. Another term for it is Guinea grains, and it's mentioned by Pliny as African pepper. But again, subsequently, it was forgotten in Europe, so at some point later in medieval times, it was renamed as grain of paradise and became popular, and a popular substitute for black pepper, so around the 14th and 15th centuries. Mellighetta plant is a swamp-loving plant that grows in unique biomes of Western Africa, and has beautiful purple trumpeted flowers with a pinkish orange accents, and develops into little brown reddish seed pods as they dry. And these seed pods were harvested and then dried again. They have the grains of paradise, and these are then taken from the pods. Just similar to cardamom, basically, that kind of thing. So, there's lots of other spices we can talk about, like cumin seeds and fenugreek. and mustard seeds that the ancients used to spice up and make their foods hotter and give that kind of flavor profile. So it was always a popular thing since antiquity. Greeks and Romans used a lot of spices. Would grind all these spicy peppers and mix them in sauces with oil, olive oil or wine and vinegar and honey, and make some kind of aromatic, spicy and pungent sauce. And they will always use other elements as well, like something like coriander seeds and lavard seeds and juniper berries or bay berries, and mix them all together and create all this, have all these bitter elements and the sweet from the honey, the vinegar, and the pungent aromas from the peppers. Of course, we're gonna check all these other spices in another episode. Now, there's another interesting one spice here, which, I mean, it's not something that probably was used in ancient Greece, but it's another version of the long pepper. So this is a rare variety from Ethiopia, Ethiopian long pepper, and it's harvested in the South Ethiopian forests, and it's kind of smoky but not as hot. It's not as spicy as black pepper, really. It's more fruity and smoky, and this smokiness comes from the drying out process. So after they harvest it, then they dry it in the hearth of their homes to cool people, and these are built out of eucalyptus wood and bamboo. Yeah, but it's deeply aromatic. So the next one here, you see, we have the Cambodge rouge pepper, which originates from Cambodia in the 13th century, and now it has a renaissance again, luckily for us, because the large green peppers are allowed to turn red on the vine before harvesting. Yeah, it has a very full-bodied pepperiness and with fruit notes. Finally, I have the Sichuan peppercorns, which is from China, obviously, and it wasn't used in ancient Greece, but it was used in China. In ancient China, they were very popular. So for starters, they're not actually peppers, right? These, unlike the peppercorns, these are berries of the prickly ash tree, which is a member of the citrus family. And they're harvested only once a year in the late summer. And these tiny bumpy fruits are painstakingly picked from their thorny branches by hand and laid out to dry naturally in the heat of the sun. As they dry out, the berries open up into a distinctive floral shape that earned the spice its local nickname, flower pepper. So you see it opens like a flower bud. And after open, the dried husk releases their small black seeds, which are bitter and inedible. The fragrant peppercorns are hand-processed to ensure no thorns, seeds or twigs make it into the buds. This is a very interesting spice. It's kind of tongue-tingling and numbing sensation that you get. That kind of spiciness. Clearly a different type of spice. But yeah, later in another video we'll see different spices from ancient Greece and Rome. We'll check other interesting heating elements for the ancient Mediterraneans. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this little video. See you soon. Bye.